podcast is Wrestling Daft and is scheduled for 1 hour. Maybe more. It has no real time limits, making their way into your ears. First, from a place called Barneston, he is the Pyramid. Rab Grado.
It's going to be the funniest show ever because I'm all about the comedy and the money, baby.
How much you gonna pay?
And his partner, the top end of Stevenson.
From Mexico City to Beef Community Centre, I've got stories that are going to blow your mind.
Hello and welcome to Wrestling Daft. My name is Rab. Florence and Grado is here in the room with me as well. No in the room. We're not breaking the rules of the COVID restrictions. Grado, how are you doing?
I'm alright. I'm getting there. Just kind of, so. Care what it's like. I'm neither up nor done.
Have you been, mate?
I've been alright. I've been a wee bit crabbit. I've watched a bit of wrestling. I've been secret eating. Just another week.
You've been secret eating?
Well, secret eating and that, I've told everybody I'm on a diet and I'm really and I'm just kidding myself on, and I thought, well, I can tell the truth to the wrestling fans. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I could tell this on Fit with Daft. Wrestling fans, it's a wee bit more of a community, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm lying to my girlfriend, I'm lying to her dad, I'm lying to folk on the radio every morning, I'm saying I'm eating the right things, and really, I'm no, but I can come clean, I can shoot on a wrestling podcast.
What are you eating? Like, what would you say? What did you do this week? What did you eat that was bad? So
I done no bad on Monday. Never had a horrible breakfast. I had a nice week and a plate of cornflakes, and then I had a healthy lunch. It was just a bit of chicken and salad, and then I had a normal dinner. I can't remember. Anyway, yesterday started again, not too bad, but then I went out with the dog and I was going by the station chip shop in the Boatman to Stevenson. And I just eated a half-battered pizza supper with curry sauce, a roll and 2 pickles and a bottle of 2-litre red cola. And I basically took a picture of another dinner that I had for a couple of months ago that looked healthy and sent it to my girlfriend and said, just having this. So I can come clean here. It's just the issues that you go through, man. It's hard, man, when you're not on the road, wrestling every weekend, when fucking the fans stop chanting your name, you turn to food, man.
Aye. That's hard, isn't it? Anyway,
and you were fat, and when you lost, I thought, well, he'll be fat again, and you've just still been skinny.
I've managed to keep it off to a great extent. I've kind of fluctuated here and there, I got up and down a bit, but never near back up to where I was.
No, I mean, you were a wee fat man, and now you're just like you just look like a nice bloke.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that. Thanks. Let's see what the punters are saying. See if the punters are saying anything about how good I look. Kyle says he was listening to Wrestling Daft, and Rab's telling us that poltergeists are just a manifestation of telekinetic powers in a person's mind. He says now that he's got to admit he was a good 5 minutes every time he reaches for something trying to move it with his mind. So he's learned something about telekinesis on this show. Gary spotted a Wrestling Daft t-shirt in the Thunderdome on Royal Rumble, during Royal Rumble, which of course we're going to have to talk about, Grado, but we'll do that shortly.
That was nice.
Yeah, more wrestling music spotted at football, by the way. Don't know how you spot music. I don't know how you do that. The moment you spot it with your ears. As Mark pointed out, that Arsenal walked out to Kane's music.
What?
What's going on?
I've got a clip. Would you like to see this?
Of course. I would love to. This is right up my street.
Hold on, it'll take me a while.
Is it his old tune or is it Is it Finger 11? Slow Chemical. Finger 11, that's what it's called, isn't it?
Finger 11?
The wonder of the world is gone and all for sure.
Right, hold on.
Decent voice there, Grado.
One more table turn around and she's not around.
Have you done many musical stuff? Obviously, you do your pantos, but...
Well, I...
Sing us a bit more of that song.
Right. The wonder of the... Right, see, I'm going to be nervous now. The world is gone and all for sure. No table turn around and she's not around. I feel it coming down. Bring me what I could never ask for.
Amazing, man.
But I mean,
hey, let's hear this, John.
Thank you, Kelly. Yep, William is getting ready, and his crossing of that white line will make him the first Brazilian player to reach 200.
Real lack of quality when you miss.
One of them should go to the centre spot and go like that. And then...
Aye. And then the flags at the corners.
Yep. I always like them.
Wait, I know you were asking me about singing, right? I just want to tell you, I did singing for my hires, and I did get an A.
So did I, mate. Did sing
Have
for
I
Hiles
told
and
you?
get an A.
I feel as if I've
No,
told you
no,
this before.
no, I don't think so.
No.
What was some of your songs that you sang?
I sang a song called Maria for West Side Story.
How's that? Go sing it. Did you?
He goes, the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. That was it.
See, I wonder if that's a thing, man. You're good at that. I had a couple of songs. One was, why does Saigon never sleep at night? Why does this girl smell of orange trees? Vietnam. You don't give answers to your friend, and questions that don't ever end. But then you also got to have a wee bit of fun, because I'd also done Lifted. Lifted.
Oh, did you do Lifted as
Oh,
well?
it could be. Oh, aye. Lifted up today. Lifted all the way. Yeah.
I can't even remember what else I did. I don't remember Maria.
You go, if it was Hiles, you get 7 songs. I done Monday
Aye,
as
aye.
well. I remember that. And if I were a rich man, diddle 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 diddle. Aye,
And the examiner would come in and stone and listen to you singing.
aye.
Am I right?
It was, but it's funny, man, because here's the deal: you don't like singing good in front of the birds. Do you know what I mean? So when I was
Aye.
practicing in front of the teacher, I'd be like, whatever, man, pure left-eed, because
Aye.
the tidy lasses were in the class. But when it came to exams and there was no
Oh.
birds there to slag you, it was lifted,
Yeah.
lifted.
I did maybe this time was one of the ones that maybe this time I'll get lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. And I sang it with a he as well, like singing about a guy. You know what I mean? Examiner fucking looking at me, this bloke like that. Got this guy pegged. Got this boy pegged. And what his future's going to be like. Right, anyway. Tangent.
Anyway, good. Well done, Arsenal.
Danilo adds the suggestions for Celtic's walkout music as discussed last week, saying that Celtic.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you think we should maybe actually say on this podcast a wrestling song and see if Arsenal play it their next home game?
Aye.
Why? What song will we think? What should we suggest?
Try and put it out there into the universe.
Aye,
like,
you know what I mean? It needs to be a song that they would sort of probably. What have they done? They've already done the
Triple
game,
H,
innit?
right?
They've done Kurt Angle, they've done Kane, West Ham did Triple H.
All right, West Ham did Triple H.
You can't put. I mean, you can't suggest like what about the Big Show song? No.
Oh, that's a good.
Maybe the
Aye.
Big Show, Gangrel, maybe. Dun 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 dun. How about a good one to come out to? Wouldn't it?
Aye. Oh, X-Pac. You gotta. You better stop right now. Where's it?
Billy Gunn.
What one? The one
Ass
Billy
man.
Gunn? Or
Ass
I'm
man.
an ass man.
I'm an ass man. They wouldn't come out to that, would they?
They want to come out.
wouldn't
I'm an
out to
ass
that.
man. They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do that.
D'Lo Brown. You're looking at the real deal now. What? I'm gonna kick your sorry ass out of the street, boy.
After discussing, Danilo suggested that Celtic should come out to Goldust's theme song because they're fucking shattering dreams here, boys. After discussing new gimmicks for Grado and a possible team up with Michael Barrymore, Chris says surely a Grado and Barrymore tag team is a must, but you would have to ban the big splash or any other swimming pool related moves. John, you shouldn't be putting.
I mean, come on. This is a friend of a friend here.
Sorry, Grado, sorry.
This
Big
is
shout out.
Barrymore.
Big shout out to wrestling figure maker extraordinaire, Kyle Customs, who, after the chat about the Spooky Club last week, has designed a t-shirt based on the Bullet Club design for Spooky Club, so you can have we'll look at that. Might get this up on our merch stand, but we probably get a cease and desist with New Japan as well as Hulk Hogan. I don't want to be sued.
Well, aye. Very interesting that the as soon as he put that up, basically the Bullet Club put something up about how their original Bullet Club t-shirt has, for the first time in a couple of years, is back up in the charts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
I just, you know, there's nothing. I hate it when wrestlers. I've spoken about this before when they rip off other people's logos and all that. It's just so small time. I don't like it.
I mean, I done it for years. I remember, but Colt Cabana's the same as you. Would always go, "What are you doing, man?" Because I had like my Grado Mania one. I never had the Bullet Club one, but I was so pissed off at seeing every fat strob in the UK coming out with fucking Buffet Club and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Just fucking drap it, man.
So the pun-in is back, but as decided last week, it's only going to happen once a month. That's all I will allow. And this week, it's all about wordplay with wrestling and religion. Before we get into it, though, we have to take a wee point here to talk about gimmick infringement. If the WWE wrestler and my niece, Isla Dawn, was spotted looking for wrestling dog-related puns on Twitter, we set a law team on her, obviously, and she has tried to buy her silence by offering up the pun Growldo. For a dog-related. See, that's no enough for me. I might have to have a word with her privately about that gimmick infringement. See, either she's infringing her gimmick or she hasn't listened to the show ever and hasn't realised that we did this thing.
I think it's the second one.
I think it's the second one.
I think it's the latter. And look, it's not about her. It's not about gimmick infringement. It's the fact I'm jealous that we never come up with fucking Dougs. That's a great one. We're sitting here going, Chinese food, chocolate. Do you know what I mean? Dunks, man.
I know. Maybe we could do cats. Anyway, religious puns. Here we go. Karate Warrior 2 got in touch with Bruno Sammartino, Adam Rosary, and Dave Baptista. Westy says Rick Prayer. Cameron says Jesse, the body of Christ Ventura. Islami Zayn and Buddha Ray Dudley.
That's good.
Nick says Prince Hal Albert, the Monkey Tonk Man, the Insane Clown Proddies, and the New Jack Testament. Glasgow Bob's got the Bible Basham Brothers.
Brilliant.
Alistair's got the Jesusos. That's a stretch.
That's
Hey, WWS PFL says Big Papa Pope, though, which is pretty sweet.
All right.
Toby says Prado. Give like a prayer, another level of meaning there.
Good.
Big Benny says Kevin Nash Wednesday. I like that. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit squad, Samoza's Joe.
That's good.
You like that one?
Sikh Abdul Bashir and Piper Heaven. Callum says Iron Sikh. Giant Prey Stacks. And Testament. Martin has got Bethlehem Phoenix.
Brilliant.
And Jericho. Thomas has got Baron Mormon. And Lee has got Drew McIntyre.
They were good.
They were all right. I like Kevin Nash Wednesday. I like that.
Aye.
That's the kind of stretch I like. If you want to get in touch with us about any of that or just random wrestling related stuff, get us on Twitter at Wrestling Daft, on Insta at Wrestling Daft Podcast, just Wrestling Daft on Facebook, or email us at wrestlingdaft@gmail.com. Time for Bury and Putover now. Every week we like to separate the good for the bad, the Billy McNeil's for the Shane Duffys. Let's have a talk about the Royal Rumble. Grado, did you watch it?
So I would say I watched maybe about 60% of it.
Right.
I saw the Goldberg match. Saw the.
What did you think of the Goldberg match? What did you think of the Goldberg match?
It was a bit weird. It was a bit weird. I mean, it done what it was meant to do, but it was a bit like, you know, dude, I done what it meant to do, right? But again, it's like, I don't know. It was when was the last time you seen somebody start a fighting in the building and gaff? I don't know. Wound me up. Anyway,
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good.
No, it was fine. This is me just being a fucking
and a nice clean win and all that. And I thought Goldberg looked good as well.
Aye, man, I liked his shots. Nice
shots
that
I wear putting the bins out.
I know. That's nice shots, Goldberg.
I know, it was weird he was wearing these shots.
It man. Why has he done that? That's weird, isn't it?
That was weird, wasn't it?
Aye, what's he doing with his shots, man?
I kind of feel like when you wear shots like that, it's because, you know, sometimes if you go into a shite, right, and you've got it's a really, really hard shite and it gets stuck halfway out. Mm-hmm. So you've got half the shite is sticking out your arse, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do here? Do I push it in or do I try and pull it out? And then you're like, oh God, I've run out of time. I'll just need to put these shots on.
I don't...
Do you know what I mean?
No, listen, no.
I listen.
cannot leave. I cannot leave a toilet unless my hoop has taken an off a scene to whether it be toilet roll under the water and shoved right up the fucking chuff. I need a hygienical anus.
Oh, obviously, I'm talking about Goldberg here.
Sorry, I thought you meant you. Sorry,
no,
mate.
I'm talking about
But
Goldberg.
It just reminded me again of Vader with his fucking trackies in his Bride Community Centre.
Why? What Goldberg Shots did, or the shite thing I was talking about?
Well, it could to be honest with you could relate some way to something. Aye, just it's going to give me the book talking about this. Keep going.
Sorry. So Royal Rumble, and I mean, I enjoyed that. I watched the whole event. It was very long though, wasn't it?
It was long, mate.
It was very long. I think if you're going to have 2 Royal Rumbles, you have like maybe 1 match at best. Like have 1 match or 2 matches at a push, and then the 2 Royal Rumbles.
Or the Saturday night, the women's Rumble, and Sunday night the men's Rumble, because there's no crowds. Just fucking
it's too long, man. It's too long. It's too long. I think on the whole, maybe the women's Royal Rumble was a wee bit more fun. And the guys' Royal Rumble, but it was good. It was great seeing Christian back. It was good.
Khalito looked jacked. He looked fucking good.
Good, by the way.
He looked
looked good for a guy's age. I mean, he's like 50 odds. He was 60 now, nearly 60, and he looked great.
Did you fall for the Randy Orton Edge thing?
Well, I mean, I knew obviously Randy Orton was going to appear at the end. So I kind of.
I think it got me, but I think
it did fall for it. To be honest, I think I did fall for it. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But I was very. But here's the finish I was hoping for was Randy Orton and Edge and Christian as the last 3. That was the finish I was wanting. Once I saw Christian was in, I was like, I hope Randy Orton comes out, and then you've got they 3 as the last 3: Randy Orton, Edge, and Christian. And then I would like to have seen Edge and Christian just doing some old tag team stuff on Randy Orton, proper revenge stuff, and flinging Randy Orton out. And then I would love to have seen the 2 of them facing off in the middle of the ring, and the 2 of them hugging, and Christian shaking Edge's horn, and Edge saying, "What you doing? What you doing?" And Christian walking out of the ropes to eliminate himself, and Edge trying to stop him from eliminating himself, and Christian jumping out. I would have loved that.
That's drama.
I would have loved Christian for his pal going, "I want you to go to WrestleMania one last time."
But then Edge turns around and slaps him and goes, "Don't be stupid. Fight me."
Aye. But him saying he's like, "No, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fight you." And he just like eliminates himself. I would have loved that. Anyway, they didn't do that. They just
or he fucking teases it and goes, "Come on, I'm getting it." And Edge walks through and he fucking
puts Edge out.
Aye.
Oh fuck. See,
no Edge out, but at least tries to. Do you know what I mean? He gives.
Would
you call that the stun gun on the ropes and fucking?
Aye.
But then he would eliminate himself if he gave him the stun gun. So forget
that. I think that the feel good ending of Christian eliminating himself as the second last one in to give Edge the shot would have been amazing.
You're good at this, man.
Or Edge fucking stopping Christian and going, "I'll go out, man. I've had my big moment. Here's a big moment for you." Anyway, we could have been great.
Or Randy Orton just gets his buzz out.
Aye, Randy Orton. Imagine Randy Orton just started just kissing the 2 of them.
Aye, man.
Just started kissing them. You know what I mean?
Winch.
Aye, and then Alexa Bliss comes out, just starts firing fireballs at all of them. Just like pew, pew, fireballs at all their faces. No, it might as well do that. Here, this is what I enjoyed at the Royal Rumble: the fact that Alexa Bliss just gets shoved out in about 2 seconds, and there was no Fiend. That was great. It was as if I'd booked it.
It was what I was worried for you.
It was as if I'd booked it. Alexa Bliss comes out, punted right out when she starts doing all spooky garbage, and then the Fiend didn't even turn up. Fiend's at home. He's eating a kebab.
No well, man. He's no well.
Is he no well?
No, I was just saying that.
All right, okay.
I was just saying, no, he was no well, you know what I mean?
Why?
Tonsillitis.
Right, the punters, Daniel wants to put staying away for the Rumble because everybody will have a go at that. He's talking about Shingo versus Tanahashi for the Openweight title, hard hitting with some. Listen, nobody cares about that.
Cool, man. Thanks. You watch the Japanese stuff.
Daniel.
That's Daniel from New Zealand, who once read the puns, by the way. So
Daniel blew it there, by the way, because we do actually want to talk about the Royal Rumble this week. So
right.
Don't you try and second guess us, mate. Daniel. Andrew wants to put the Yokozuna Icons episode on the network. Well worth a watch.
Wow. Fucking superb documentary, troops. I'm telling you, probably one of the best ones I've done in a while. And I think it's because the age I was, I remember Yokozuna coming to the fucking Magnum in Irvine. There's a great picture of Drew McIntyre with fucking Yokozuna at the Magnum. But I think I didn't actually really appreciate the problems that big fella had. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, he got so big, and he was released for his own good, and he couldn't do it. And, you know, there's footage of him at like a fucking these pure rotten shows with rotten rings, and it's heartbreaking, man. And I think these Samoan guys are like some of the nicest folk ever. Rikishi's tells some good stories. Don't want to spoil it, but it was fucking heartbreaking, man. What was it, 34, 35, 36? I mean, that's unreal. And there's footage of him in the Big Breakfast, which I popped out as well. He's sitting there with these fan outing, and they kind of billed it as like a couple of days before he died, because he was out here with Dixon when he died, man. I remember reading about it in the Daily Record and stuff like that.
I mean, and also, as far as I was concerned, he was a Japanese guy.
Rab, I know.
And I was 100%. Yeah,
you would never have questioned that. Never would have questioned that.
100%. Andrew also wants to bury Natalia being number 30 in the Women's Rumble. What a disappointment. I was waiting on it being Ronda Rousey. But
I was waiting on Ronda Rousey.
We knew in advance, though, didn't we? Natalia was number 30, I think. So, maybe that's just me, because I'm a genius. Paul wants to put over Pat Patterson My Way documentary on the network. I'll need to watch that. I would like that. Also, Yokozuna documentary. So many people talking highly of him. Rikishi Greeton telling the story of when he had bought him a new radiator.
All right, well, I wasn't going to tell you. It's spoiled now, but I bought my fucking radiator.
For his house?
He was called.
Showing him on the Big Breakfast. Great tributes. And he wants to bury Orton's big stupid tomato face, making a full recovery at the Rumble.
I know that.
Neil wants to bury, easy target, has been said many times before, but bury the Royal Rumble rules. Billy Kay, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins a wee bit all showed that there's no need to even be in the ring. Why not just wait outside or hide in the back until everybody else is eliminated and come in at the end? They need to buckle down on that, didn't they? They need to like...
Aye, they need to. I mean, I don't know how you felt about the old the guy outside pulling folk out. How can that just suddenly be no DQ? I feel as if that was the case, fucking DX 20 years ago would be waiting about outside to pull folk out.
Just pulling everybody out.
Aye.
Yeah. And he wants to put over Becky Lynch trolling everybody on Twitter by posting a nice curtain. Fraser wants to put over Christian and Carlito's returns at the Rumble. Both look great and sensible from Carlito to miss Legends Night, as they've been just a face in the crowd then. And Fraser wants to bury Paul Heyman not being able to work a key the way he can work the mic. I mean, that was excruciating, that bit, wasn't it? Heyman tried to unlock that handcuffs.
I can't remember that bit. Was that during the Roman Reigns match?
It was at the end. It was the finish of the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens match. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the bulk of that match, but the matches just end up too long as well because they're wandering about all over the place. Too long.
And once you've seen all that folk falling through tables and getting ran over, man, that doesn't even... I don't want to sound... I love folk going through tables and all this, but when it's the full match, it literally was oily. You're saying
it's garbage wrestling, didn't you, Grado?
I'm not saying it's garbage because who they are makes it. It's no garbage. Do you get what I mean?
Aye, but you're saying that anybody that does all the spots where they go through a table, no, they're garbage wrestlers. They're
garbage wrestlers. Listen, mate, I fucking love garbage wrestling. I fucking love garbage. I used to have a thing in UKFF years ago, and it was a poll, and I'd put up a wrestler, and I'd write great, good, or garbage. And it was fucking well over. It was over. As far Ian Dice Clare, whatever, he'll tell you that it was over great, good, or garbage.
But you said... You're saying any wrestlers that do the kind of spots though, like attacks and the tables, not that it's just junk wrestling. That it's no proper wrestling.
I've never said that.
That's what you just said.
No, look,
that they're garbage wrestlers. That they're junk. That's junk wrestling. That's not wrestling. You said.
No, I never. Because
you said that what Will Ospreay does, all the flipping about, is not wrestling.
Well, it's wrestling. I just don't like it.
I managed to talk you right into that there. I'm like the police and that making a murderer. What's his name's fucking nephew? Brendan Dassey.
Aye.
That was how they.
You seen the nose today? Why not? You seen the nose today? You're on it. You're on the nose today.
That's a great documentary, isn't it?
It's not that good.
But what do you mean it's not that good?
No, you know I love my crime and killing fucking things. I love them. But making a murderer for me was very, very frustrating. See, when I know that guy shouldn't have been in jail and it's only in episode 5, I can't bear it. It annoys me.
Do you think he shouldn't be in the jail?
Well, for what I've heard, I probably should have watched the end because there's people that are kind of undecided. But I thought
you've not watched the whole series.
No, because we see when they started planting blood on him and all that, and fucking about with test tubes, I went, "Ah, no, fuck this." I was like, "No, they're bastards. That's shite." So should I've watched it all?
So you're saying the detectives that did that, that was garbage detective work they were doing. James isn't burying anything because there's enough shite to be moaning about, but he wants to put over how good Christian looked at the Rumble. Looked great. Derek, again, is another one who loved the Yokozuna documentary. Stephen wants to put over Bianca Belair winning the Women's Rumble. A new star has been created in the women's division, he says. And he wants to bury Jey Uso being advertised for the Royal Rumble, but no even being in it.
Oh man, that's terrible.
That's terrible. Jan wants to put over 24-hour Fight Forever from GCW. Good day of free wrestling with fundraising for all the performers and crew. It was good to see matches from promotions who would not normally get a look in. I need to be honest, I've got no idea what that is.
It's GCW. I was meant to work for them once. It's kind of Joey Janela's and Danny Havoc's company. That's weird. I just never imagined a GCW fan called Jan. That's weird.
24-hour Fight Forever. Does that mean it was 24 hours long?
They do stuff like that, to be fair. Aye. Some of it's garbage, man.
Okay. And Jan wants to bury Rey Mysterio becoming an advert for...
What was that about, man? That was funny, wasn't it? What was the beer called again? What was the beer called?
Victoria, is it? Is it Victoria's beer or something like that?
That was weird, wasn't it?
Is it his beer?
No, they've done a deal. I mean, they talked about it for about a minute during the Rumble. They've
paid mega money, man, for that.
I know. And he had that on his mask. Fucking hell.
What about fucking Bad Bunny and Booker T? What the fuck?
What was that, man?
What was that, man? What was that?
And a guy cut, and then they had like, it's Bad Bunny. I mean, don't fucking ask a guy with that name on your wrestling show.
And then, the fucking Miz and John Morrison stuff is horrible as it is, and they're backstage trying to be his pal and all that. I'm going, if that was real life, Miz would be going, who the fuck? I've never heard of Bad Bunny.
This guy is so over in America. He's huge. He's like 30 million followers or something.
Is he a TikToker?
I don't know if he's a TikToker or what, but he's got incredible amount of followers.
Is he like that guy? Is he like that guy that was in the jail with the pink hair and all that and the tattoos in his face?
Gary Glitter.
And now, in the Elimination Chamber, performing live, Island Records recording artist Gary Glitter.
Come on. I don't know if they should have done this deal. I don't know if that's... No, I don't know why he's on it. And I have to say, one thing I will say though, did Booker T no look like he could wreck everybody in the roster?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Rab. Why did they not perform that maybe as number one, and Booker T comes out as number one, and everybody's like, look at fucking Booker T. He looked about 8 foot tall. He was jacked. He looked like a fucking total badass. Why not just have him in the Rumble for 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, you would have totally believed. See if Booker T had been in the Rumble looking like that, you would have thought to yourself, Booker T might win this.
Ken and I
you would have. You would have. You would have went. See if he was in the last 4, Booker T, you'd be like, fucking, it's got to be Booker T versus Roman Reigns.
For the fight with that fucking, for that clobber. Winner gets a fucking camel
clobber on a pole match. I haven't explained what the word clobber means now. Right. Now, every week we run down a chart.
Charlie Nicholas. Clobber T, man, that's horrific.
Every week we run down a chart of something wrestling related in a list of wrestling daft. You can
Roman Clays.
Right,
we've got it for next week. Clays. Roman Clays and
Clobber T.
Clobber T. Roman Clays.
It's a part of the show where we invite you, the listeners, to their run-in. However, this week we thought we would invite somebody to run in. So please welcome the voice of ICW, as seen on the WWE Network, Mr. Billy Kirkwood.
He'll know what he's doing. He's never asked him, but he loves it. He loves that fucking pod.
There he is. Look at his wee hoose.
I know.
How you doing?
How you doing, Billy?
fucking hellish, man. What the fuck is going on with this Mad Max fucking bullshit? Do you know what I mean? Fuck this. I'm alright. I'm good. Mate,
Everybody's putting a red face on it, isn't they? The Rock, it's a fucking nightmare. And so let's just have 30 seconds here where we'll talk about how bad it really is. This is a fucking nightmare.
That's shite.
fucking sick of it. And folk crying over not being able to get the right cheese in the fucking supermarket and shit like that. I'm getting sick of this shit. Honestly. You want to go outside and wash yourself in a puddle? I'm getting fucking sick of COVID. Junkies aren't even trying to be junkies anymore. The fucking world's gone to shit. I used to love a junkie. They're not even junkies, they're doing their junkie part on this.
But Billy, you're the fucking biggest grafter I've ever met. You've never had everything. You own everything.
I'm really shite and I don't like I'm doing twice the work at everybody else.
No, and do you know what? It's funny because when John took your corona, I was like, oh, I hope, because I had the fear last Sunday morning because who's that commentator doing in London who works for LXII and he done the FW for years? Big nice boy. He just came out last week. He was very kind of put up a nice wee post and all that about how he came out as gay and all that, and I basically was like, "You're the best British commentator." And I woke up the next morning and I was like, "Fuck! I hope Billy Kirkwood doesn't see that actually."
Mate, I am fucking outraged. You thought I didn't think you were referencing me.
How could anybody? It's like every fucking entrance video is your voices on it, and I'm calling some other fucking commentator the best in the UK. You know what I mean?
So what have you been up to, Billy? What have you been? Obviously, ICW have been continuing doing their stuff on the network. How's that been?
Do you know, it's when I heard about it, there was gonna be no crowds. The first thing I thought was, man, this is gonna be so weird. But do you know the mental thing is? I realised that when you're doing wrestling commentating, you tend to just watch the wrestling, so it kind of just sort of faded out. Don't get me wrong. I mean, crowds are still a big part of storytelling, or still a big part of the vibe, but I just found myself, it's like, let's concentrate on the action, let's concentrate on the story. So it's been good, man, and it's been a testament to how good the athletes are, especially here in Scotland and UK. You see the boys down at UK NXT and doing it, and NXT UK. Don't want to get a fucking email. And how well they're adapting to it, man. I think we're leading the world in how we do this. I mean, we don't have the big fancy fucking
screens and all that.
Well,
can you imagine if these screens all had ICW fans on them? Though, you imagine the fucking disaster that would be.
Some guy from Carluke wanking himself into a frenzy. Do you know what I mean?
But I've always got to think about the likes of that match on Sunday with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, and they're throwing ourselves at fucking stages, and there's no crowd to react to that. That must be 10 times safer. Because at least if you take a bump and there's a crowd there, you know, the adrenaline gets you through. But doing that in an empty, it must be a fucking absolute. It must be safe.
They must pump in crowd noise like in the arena at the time. Because imagine you just take that big bump and the noise. Here's a cameraman going, "Oh, very good."
Yeah, exactly.
Some guy farting on the other end of the arena. Belter! Fuck's sake! I'm trying to murder Roman Reigns here. Do you mind?
Wait, what's been happening anyway with like the ICW and the network and stuff like that? Have you been recording and are you there at the shows? Or
no, I'm not at the shows. The guys, it's like, it's TV production. You guys know about that. They're in the COVID bubble. Everyone's getting tested and they're being as safe as they can. Me and Jamie, we're doing it in post-production because they're making a TV show now. I mean, it was a live event. It's a TV production now, and it's immense how they're doing. But no, we're getting everything sent through, like said Dallas and Andy, Red Lightning Scott, and what have you. They're giving us a brief on what to do, and it's been good, man. The fact we managed to keep the wheels turning on this bad boy, and the fact our stuff is holding up. I mean, us going on the network during lockdown, one of the coolest things I thought about it was whether it's the new shows or some of the old shows, our stuff is holding up, man. I think our stuff in the UK is looking fucking pretty sweet. And but
do you still need to pay for the network?
Me personally, I need to pay double. Apparently, I'm pretty sure they must be folk in like Texas and no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Just squealing like a goat that's had some stuff up its arse. I'm just fucking excited to be there. But we get lovely feedback, man. We get lovely, and the fact that people are getting to experience guys like, they're getting to experience our icons, like even antagonists like Red Lightning is coming on and talking. You get to see Mark Coffey and Wolfgang and everything. They get to see Grado. Grado's on the fucking network, mate. Grado's on the fucking network.
Aye.
And
How
that's
many times have you watched yourself on the network, Grado?
I've never done it. Because the first match with Jackie Palor was fucking rotten, and I went, I can't bear watching that again. But then the James Storm one, I wanted to see what happened with it, you know, because obviously everybody just tweets me about Madonna and fucking all this, and I'm like,
yep.
And then, of course, the first time it was like, Shaft me went, they just cut to the ring, and I went, I'm leaving watching it.
I was gutted.
Do you know
I
what
was
I mean?
heartbroken. Think of the fucking effort we put into that. Thinking this is fucking, mate, people are gonna blow their minds, and there's you in the ring just like stretching out.
Mate, I know. Well,
I know, blow my voice out during that entrance each and every fucking time.
Who burst? Do you know what I mean?
Who does the? Who do you might not know, Billy, but who does the kind of fine? Who would have made that cut?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the network that done it.
Vince.
The guys here.
Vince cell on his laptop.
It's Madonna.
Aye, man. On fucking Sony Vegas, man. Cutting it up his cell, man.
On his phone, some fucking mad one. He's having to shut pop-ups all the time on his wee phone.
He's like, Madonna, I'm not having Italian words in here. Click.
No chance.
But man, you really have been busy in terms of. I mean, I've even spoke to you, Billy, since I started doing radio in the mornings, man. How the
hell? Welcome, brother. Welcome. Welcome.
Oh, no, I know what you mean about, you know, because I remember I'd speak to you and you'd have a show somewhere and then you'd like sleep in your motor and then go straight to the radio. It's it's a complete lifestyle change, isn't it?
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's awesome fun. And you,
definitely.
I'm loving what you guys are doing as well. It's great.
I'm loving your work, Billy.
Cheers, brother. I appreciate that. But
that's bullshit.
Do you know? No, listen. That's because
we're not going to each other. Who are we kidding? But,
no, listen. It's no bullshit because my girlfriend listens to Billy in the mornings rather than me.
All right.
She loves you. She's always loved Billy Kirkwood. I'll go, did you hear that? She's like, no, I was listening to Billy.
That's ironic.
It blows her mind that you're the commentator, like, because before she started going with me, she just knew you as Billy Kirkwood on the radio, and then she's like, is that fucking Billy Kirkwood talking or your wrestling match? And I'm like, aye. She didn't know.
It is quite mental that folk like don't get. It's just like, how can you be the same person? Mm-hmm. And you know it yourself, man. You go in the people go, how do you not swear on the radio? It's dead easy. Like,
it's easy. What's hard to talk about is fucking Little Mix and what they've been getting up to, and fucking, do you know what I mean? And like Joe Wicks and what's he been up to, and who? Do you know that's harder than anything. Than
just imagine
yourself not to swear.
Just imagine you could swear in the mornings. It'd be great. Now here's Rita Ora, the fucking cow.
It would spice up.
Where's the weirdest place you've had a wank? And just watch the phone lines light up. Watch them light up.
Anyway, Billy, what's happening anyway? What do you think of the rest of the current? What do you think of the current state of the wrestling business?
Well, here's what I've got to say. First of all, right, let me think.
Do you watch AEW?
I do. Actually, I'll level with you. I watch AEW probably a lot more than WWE just now.
I need to.
SmackDown and NXT guy just now. Don't get me wrong. I'll, like everybody else, I'll watch the YouTube 2-minute clips of Raw on YouTube the next morning. I've got fucking 3 weigh-ins and I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Some cunt thinks I'm sitting up watching it through an advert every 30 seconds. And fuck that on Sky, whatever it's on now. Do you know something? They're doing an amazing job. Like, see, I go back all the way to WrestleMania last year. Fucking that was brilliant what they're doing. But right now, you know what I'm missing? Colourful characters, man. Like, I'm missing, where are the characters? I'm sick of folk just like, I'm Johnny Hardcunt. I'm getting sick of those guys. Where's your IRSs? I know this will sound daft, but you see a guy in boots and tights and his gimmick is he's a bit hard and that's it. Like, I expect Damian Priest looks like he goes to the Catty Unders. Do you know what I mean? There's something about him. Like, I don't mind that, but where's your IRSs? Where's the travel agent who's going like, okay, a one-way ticket to Pain? You know, the fucking pass it. I think that's what's missing in wrestling just now.
And I don't know if you've seen that hang on Twitter the day. Everybody's got fucking the same haircut. Did anybody see that Twitter thread today?
This one, they've got this one.
Aye, you've got it on. It's Papa Freddy, like every wrestler's in the wee, and they've all got that haircut some way or another.
But you know what? I noticed that, and I literally text my wife and went, I'm growing my hair out. I'm growing my hair out. I've had enough of this. I'm not an undercut dick. You know what I mean? It's but in terms of what they're doing just now, AEW, do you know, see the fact they've got, I don't know if it's because they've got a crowd, man, but you see the fact they've just even got that wee crowd there, it just brings me in that wee bit more, and there's guys you're not getting to see. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying AEW just now. That's not a knock at WWE. It just seems to be floating my boat. And TNA, who's I don't know, is that TNA? It's still Impact, isn't it? I don't know.
Aye.
The stuff's good,
by the
man,
way.
but the stuff's good, but it's
Here, by the way, the only thing I don't like about that crowd in AEW is the fucking Chris Jericho entrance, man. And everybody, they it's as if they have their match and then they sit out in the front row and fucking have a mosh pit to Jericho's music. All the good guys, all the bad guys. It's fucking lame. Do you agree?
See when a wrestler comes in and everyone starts singing their theme, man, and they're going mental. I mean, it's almost as if somebody had done it before them. No, I know what you mean. It's dead staged. Do you know? I think it's dead staged.
Oh, it's so awkward looking, but someone get right in about it. Like fucking Billy Gunn, man. He's about 50 odd and he's fucking bottom his head with his young boy to fucking what is it? I'm a coming, and then is he a good guy? I don't know, but I just think that's a wee bit pathetic.
Oh, and Jericho is looking like, I mean, I'm not a fit guy. We've all put in a bit of lockdown luggage, but I'm not being funny about it. But Jericho looks like a melted candle. What the fuck is going on? Do you know what I mean? He is a lumpy mess of it. He looks like a fucking knee. You know, he's a mess. You're paid to be on telly every week, man. Sting's turning up in better nick than you, and he's not wrestled in 2 years, and he's like fucking 70 odd, or whatever it is.
Brought seen Sting in it. Brought seen Sting back in the wee Gothic guys hanging about with. They're quite good together.
He's excited about Cody and Shaq.
No.
It feels like is it not like 10 years too late to put Shaq in a wrestling ring?
That's a bit, aye.
You know what I mean? Like him versus Big Show or something, I would have watched that, or him versus the Great Khali, and Khali could have squashed his head and it would have been fucking yes.
Because they were always like making noises about him coming into WWE properly, weren't they? Like he turned up at one of the Royal Rumbles, didn't he? No, it was a Battle Royal, Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That's right, mate. Yeah.
So it's weird, isn't it? It's a weird fit, him and Cody.
It seems like money. I don't like Cody's going to look tiny next to Shaq.
The only thing I can think is obviously they have loads of basketball on TNT. You know what I mean? When I watch a basketball on TNT, they're always advertising AEW. So there's obviously just they've went, let's do a wee bit of crossover here, see if we can bring some of the basketball audience onto AEW. Right. That must be what it is.
Is that the channel his chat show's on? You know, I know the chat show,
the basketball show, but they're all behind the desks and stuff.
Is that on TNT?
That's on TNT.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
You should no, but what you talking about? You was talking about the one where it's like Britain's Got Talent and it's Cody Rhodes and fucking Snoop Dogg. Is this a different thing altogether?
Oh, it's a different thing. No.
Yeah, you know, we're talking about just the fact that Cody and Shaq are going to be fighting each other.
Oh, are they wrestling each other? Right, I didn't know.
A tag match.
Right. Aye. I saw played out all that carry on, innit? All that fucking
right.
I got with a comedian and fucking try and draw.
Grado never gives me a good answer here. Why is Grado no on these ICW teams?
I've absolutely no idea.
I don't even know what.
I would love it.
Rab.
Right, don't get all awkward, guys. I'm just asking.
I'm not getting awkward at all. I can't wrestle now. I cannot wrestle. There is no way in a million years I'm fit enough to get in a ring. Absolutely no chance. I'm bust walking the dog. I'm bust bending out to tie my laces. I'm sorry to tell you, mate, but I'm in the nick.
Look at Jericho though.
How long would it take you?
Wait, about a fortnight. That's just swimming, Milton's back up.
Are you saying you want booked on these, Grado?
Well, to be honest with you, it'd be alright having a wee booking for something to look forward to.
Well,
do you know what I mean? To kind of go, right, I need to get my arse in gear and buy a new leotard and all that. Phone the wee guy down in England that makes the boots. It's always in Magaluf because he'll not be in Magaluf now.
Hey, no. Billy, you've got a bit of stroke in you, ICW. You've got a bit of pull there. You can sort that out, can you?
I'll have a word. I'll get it sorted.
Have you ever done anything like creative wise with ICW? Has always just been purely commentary?
Do you know, man? I've helped folk out with promos and pitching TV stuff and what have you, and that's it. Really, just folk with their characters. I don't like getting involved with that side. I'd love to if like the right circumstance, but there's other people doing that, man, right now, doing an amazing job. So that's not for me. That's not for
one thing that I love, and I've probably said it to you before, man. But I loved when it was. And I was fighting Drew and all that in 2015 and 16, and you would commentate my matches and you would go, Graham Stevely, and you'd come in, I'd love that. I'd love when you done that. I was like, it's cool, man. He's like, do you know what I mean? There was something cool about him going, it's Graham Stevely's dream. There's
a thing here though, sorry Billy, but there's a thing I need to say as well that I've been to a few ICW shows and like before they start and stuff, and Billy always looks like the most professional guy in the building. He's always up there. He's up there at his desk. He's getting things prepped. He's looking at stuff. He looks ready. He's focused. He's sober. He's, you know what I mean? He's just fucking ready to go. And I think that's why you're so good at it as well. You know what I mean? It's like I think people sometimes maybe don't realise, obviously, because ICW had this kind of wild reputation, you know what I mean? They were kind of like, it was like a wild place to be and a wild night out and stuff like that. But at the centre of it there, they had you, who were fucking professional as fuck and focused as fuck, telling the stories of everything that was happening. And I think you've been a large part of all that success, really. Your voice, carrying all that.
Oh, come on, I don't know about that or anything. I've just got my small part to play, but so I appreciate that. But you know, there's a group of guys that work so, and Grado knows, man, there's a group of folk like the TV guys and what have you that work so fucking hard. And I don't like the idea of letting anyone down. And you know, when I started doing commentary, man, for ICW, I'd never done commentary before, but I'd been a wrestling fan since I was in single figures. And I'd also seen the way some British commentators did it. And it used to drove me nuts, man, how smug or shy or just didn't. And it's a big deal, man. You say something's a big deal, it is a fucking big deal. And I was always like, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I get to tell dick jokes at comedy clubs and I'm getting to do wrestling commentary. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I want to put everything into this. And the thing is, man, people that watch it, I want you to get, I am as excited about doing it as I sound. Like I just, and I can't stand the idea of people that are just being not invested in it, because it comes across as pish. It comes across if someone's being too cool for school or that they're not
trying to get themselves over when commentary.
And it's a high pressure gig as well, isn't it? Because a commentator can collapse a whole thing as well, can't they? I mean, it's a high pressure gig, really.
Oh yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I get picked up if I make even the slightest mistake, and I'm sure there's some lines on the, and mate, I'm by no means a finished product, man. I'm learning every time, but it can be a quite high pressure. I remember a couple of things when we were doing like the live pay-per-views, and they would go, right, you need to open the show in real time, like 5, 4, 2, 1, opening the show real time because we're broadcasting around the world. And man, that's the first time I've ever went, fuck, this is high pressure, because I've got 1,500 people standing behind me who are just to go, you dick. And then I've got the people watching. And if everyone remembers when Drew McDonald passed away, that was one of the first ones we ever did a live pay-per-view. And I had to introduce, to start the show, introduce his tribute video. And mate, my arse was collapsing. Like I was just like, this is a fit tribute. I don't want to make an arse of this. His name's Drew McDonald. We have Drew McIntyre in the building, or Drew Galloway, and just like, don't get his name wrong. Don't get anything wrong about this. You don't want to seem like an arse. And there's that thing when you're nervous as well, when you're talking about something that's kind of somber and serious, you don't want to laugh either as well. Like you don't, so you're saying to yourself, don't even fucking smile or laugh. Grado knows all about this. Grado has this. Grado could never have done that. And and it's just that hanging. It's like when you're at school and your teacher goes, "Don't fucking laugh." Well, he doesn't say "Don't fucking laugh," right? Well, maybe he did at my school. He says, "Don't laugh," and then you're just dying trying to hold in a laugh. You know what I mean? It's pressure.
There's no worse feeling in the world than that.
Are you stunning up?
I am stunning up.
So you date stunning up. I've thought about this. You've got your soundproofed room there, right?
That I should say it looks soundproof, but this is the cheapest shite I could get.
It looks good.
It looks good,
and I've just lit it, and it just looks all right. They start playing like Peppa Pig on that telly. You'll hear every word that that fucking wee opinionated bitch says on that telly.
She's the worst, isn't she, Peppa Pig?
Can't he stand Peppa Pig, man?
She's the worst. She's got a terrible attitude, man.
Just the worst.
She's a bully.
She's horrible. Bully. Daddy Pig needs to fucking get the finger out, man.
I'm surprised that's all in the telly half the shit that she says.
And Daddy Pig's good at fucking diving. You never hear them talking about that. No, they're just fat shaming him all the time.
It's a disgrace. That show.
Fucking disgrace.
Anyway, Billy, thanks so much for coming on. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Guys, it's been so long. I'm glad to see you are well.
I know, mate. It's like when I see photo of you, Billy, man, I pure miss it. Pure miss everything.
Yeah, I do.
It's sad. It's sad.
Depressing, isn't it? It's depressing.
Getting to that stage now, but you know something, guys, I genuinely think that I get a feeling we're heading towards this in some, I get a feeling we're turning the corner. We're turning the corner.
glad somebody's feeling like that.
Well, I know it's nice. There's at least one is feeling like that. It's good.
Well,
And it would be lovely, positive Billy Kirkwood, wouldn't it? It's feeling it.
Of
It would be
course.
that.
Listen,
No,
I'm-
Billy, we all like you.
I'm
Billy's.
crying
I would just like to say as well to the listeners, Billy's such a nice guy as well.
Nobody ever says anything bad about Billy, didn't they?
Nobody's got a bad word to say about Billy Kirkwood, and believe me, see when you're a fucking stand-up comedian, see having nobody that has a bad word to say about you, that's like a very, very rare fucking thing. Stand-up.
Because when I come back to stand up, man, I'm turning heel. I'm gonna fucking just, you know what I mean? Gonna be hitting cunts with chairs in the middle of their sets.
Yeah, I know.
Men like football.
Scrap for spots, isn't there? There's going to be a serious scrap for spots once everything comes back. It's going to be like, fuck me, man, trying to book a room for a live thing.
I've got a file in cunts. I'm just gonna start spreading rumours. I'm just gonna start spreading rumours. It's like, oh, he's a beast, and everything I can do.
Beautiful, man. Right, thanks so much. Right, and all the best to always. Hope the family's good and all that.
Aye,
And it's
definitely.
You too,
really
guys. Listen, look after yourselves, and
Yeah.
I'll see you soon. All right.
Take care,
Cheers,
Billy,
man.
my man.
Catch you later. Bye. now.
Bye.
No, Billy, thanks so much for coming on. What's happening next? Did you want to say something, John?
No, but I was just going to ask Billy. I mean, since you've obviously ICW's got in kind of bed with the WWE, have you had any kind of relationship with, like, say, Michael Cole or any kind of any people coming down to talk to you about commentary and all that sort of stuff?
He's in the WhatsApp group now with fucking
WhatsApp
JR and Todd
Me.
Greaves and all that.
It's me, Jesse Ventura. We're on a script together. He just keeps talking about conspiracies. No, the only person I've ever had direct feedback from is from William Regal, and that was literally us just talking about commentary, you know, and he gave away some good tips, man. He said, like, you know, talk about the not the what but the why. Like, it's all very well and good me going, you don't want to end up being like the old school. I go, oh, there's a leapfrog into a clothesline, drop toe hold, marvelous. Like, you want to talk about why is, you know, what's the passion, what's the story, what why is that guy working on the guy's neck? Why is that guy working on? Why is this guy in trouble? Because that's what I'm there for. People can see what's going on. It's no like, you know, the fucking radio. And also it was like, try and get stuff from guys. Like, I've been a big one for coming up with shit, or I've given folk nicknames that then they put in a t-shirt and that's became their character, which is cool. Which I love that side of it. Like this Damo, for example, I called him the Beast of Belfast. And I don't think Damo will mind me saying this, but that kind of clicked in his head and became his character. And even now, it's still his character over in NXT. Do you know?
I didn't really mind that Grado's big hairy your tits. I was close to putting it in a t-shirt.
Sorry, mate, but it was the straps are down, the tits are out.
That's it. Something like that. Aye, that's brilliant. I love that.
That's like that's
for like, see, my brother who doesn't like wrestling, he loves you. Like when he would come to ICW and be like, no real interest in wrestling, but you warming up the crowd, the wee man and stuff like that. It's all part of why ICW is different, because it isn't just straight up wrestling. There is funny, there is drama, there is fucking fireworks, the lot. But actually, there's a question I wanted to ask you, but is there anything but like, because you know when ICW at one point we were doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday in England, and the next week, and it was sometimes felt like a full-time schedule. Was there ever anything in matches that wrestlers done that really pissed you off? I don't know if I mean that you by phoning it in, or is there anything where you thought, how the fuck do I commentate this? There must be plenty of things where you've went, come on, man.
Do you know the one thing that got me, and I guess we just weren't used to it. I remember having to say to a couple of guys when we were doing like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, having to say to a couple of guys, look, guys, we're actually filming all these, and you're doing the same match.
Aye.
And you need to pat that. And like there was, I don't want to say who it was, but there was a guy in particular, and it's like, you have lost the same way 3 times in a row. Like, you must look like, in the real world, you look like the biggest tit in the world, because this guy doesn't learn. Do you know what I mean? He literally loses the same way. And you feel like a dick. I'm just an arsehole comedian, do you know what I mean? But I've got to go up to a guy, look, man, I don't know who might see this, and they're going to notice. And then there was spots that guys were just doing like 2 or 3 times a night. And it's like, watch the same matches, you know, like forearm off the rope, forearm back, hit. I must have seen these guys from the same area doing this same spot like 3 times in a fucking night. And even the crowd are like, I still remember a guy in Southampton loudly going, oh, for fuck's sake. And you know that's no good, man. You know that's no good. And folk are looking at you. I remember the guy, because he's like, Billy, and it's like, it's fucking nothing to do with me. Sorry, lads, this guy that probably got a free fucking ticket is kicking off. But no, man, I thought everybody did a great job in those, and most folk were like treating it what it was, like a Super Bowl of like getting an opportunity to go there and show what you do. But that's about my pet peeves, man, is folk not watching each other's matches and trying not to get their characters over and seeing what different they can do, because it's like, mate, you guys know from like if you've done anything on stage or if you're at a comedy gig, you watch who else is on. So when you come up, you're not coming out and saying the same fucking thing or doing the same thing.
Because it's you that looks like the arsehole.
You just made the list!
Every week we run down a chart of something wrestling related in our list of Wrestling Daft. You can vote for what you want us to talk about at patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. This week we asked you to vote between the best commentators and best colour commentators. With 77% of the vote, it was colour commentators that won. So it's time to do top 3 colour commentators. Right, so we know who number 1 is.
Do we?
I just need to put the oven on, right? Sorry, I just need to put the oven on for the weigh-in, right? I'm babysitting. That's why, John, it's not for the fit, but I'm babysitting. Is that all right? Just 2 weeks?
Yeah. No worries. Well, I'll wait for you, Grado, or will I do my list?
No, batter in. I don't like this bit.
All right, okay. No worries, I'll do it. At number 3 for me, it has got to be Jesse the Body Ventura. When I was coming up, when I was a wee guy, that was Jesse the Body Ventura was the guy I wanted to hear moaning and shouting about. I was fascinated with Jesse the Body Ventura, and I think also because not just his commentary, but I felt like I'd never seen him wrestle as well. I felt like I'd never, you know what I mean? And he's like this big giant guy, and I was like, why is he no battering everybody? I was thinking when I was a wee guy, and I really love Jesse the Body Ventura. Although when you listen to him now, you kind of it's of its time, that kind of colour commentary. But
you think I'd love to hear someone like that real. I mean, because he was the real kind of heel. You don't really get like a proper good heel commentator now, and Jesse the Body was always brilliant at that. You know, especially playing off against Gorilla as well. I love Jesse the Body Ventura.
It was great. He's my number 3. My number 2, a colour commentator who I feel is has fallen out of favour, but I think people are forgetting how good he was in his initial run, I would say, and how vital he was to the whole atmosphere of the Attitude Era. And it's Jerry the King Lawler. I think he's an underrated colour commentator. I don't know. I see John's making a face here already. I think a lot of people just focus on the fact that nowadays the King is very PG friendly, and he's kind of bland and doesn't do anything. And I know there's also that side of him that's like shouting about puppies and about the woman and making pervy comments about the woman and all of that, right? My defence for him there on that is that for that product of that time, he was the perfect colour commentator. He was kind of the voice of the demographic that was watching it to an extent. He was a middle-aged man who acted like a teenage boy when he was watching this show and these women and these guys. And because of that, because he spoke like a teenage boy, he was perfectly nailing what the product was aiming for in terms of attitude. And then before then, when the King had just kind of started his first couple of years sitting alongside JR, the King was absolutely dynamite. He was super informative. He could talk like hell. He was nasty. You could always feel like he could get involved, and you could always feel he could jaw back and forth with wrestlers as they walk past the desk and stuff. I just think the King is a massively underrated colour commentator, and I think nowadays everybody likes to go, "Oh, the King's past it," and also the King's an embarrassment when he used to do all the thing about the woman and all that, but forgetting that he was perfect. He was perfect then at that time. Number 1 is Bobby Heenan. We don't even need to discuss it.
Who was your number 3, Rab? Sorry,
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Right. I just want to say a wee shout out to my favourite commentary team when I was young. Obviously, it was Gianna King. However, watching, I just want to say that watching CZW, I fucking loved Eric Gargiulo and John House. They were, I mean, they probably, if I went back to listen to it now, it'd be rotten, but as a wee guy, I loved it because they were cool. They swore, but it wasn't like every 2 seconds, and it was cool to me. And I'll never forget when Johnny and Jodie. Have I told you about What's a Wanker, John? Do you remember that? I tell you about that?
Yeah.
What's a wanker, John? When Johnny Storm and Jodie Fleisch came out and cut a promo.
Yeah.
And Johnny Storm went, "You're the biggest bunch of wankers ever." And they're going, "What's a wanker, John? Do you know what a wanker is?" I fucking loved it. And any big spot, John House would go, "Someone call 911! Someone call 911!" I fucking loved it.
But you're saying there, like, if you listen back to them now and all that, right? Blah, blah, blah. But John House, like, they guys were...
Did you know them, Rab? Did you ever listen to some of that stuff?
Aye. And they guys were... See, it's what I was saying about the King as well, but in the Attitude Era, he was perfect for the product. And they two were perfect for that product.
Bang on.
They were exactly right. You couldn't have a fucking, you know, I mean, you couldn't have a serious commentator or even, you know, even like a Joey Styles type guy or anything like that in there. It just wouldn't have been right.
Mm-hmm.
They guys were right. They guys felt like the kind of guys who would go and see that show. You know what I mean? They were right. So let's see what the punters are saying. Willie says it's got to be Heenan, but I do quite like Taz, and Rocky Romero does a good job in New Japan.
All right.
Brett says the wee man.
Good.
Keith says
the ICW have been pretty lucky with, I think, with commentators. Obviously, we've got Billy on the show, man, but Billy Grange done great. Simon Cassidy does well when he fills in, and even Jamie Kennedy. To all of them, I really.
Billy Grange used to be Bobby Gladwin's colour commentator back in the day.
Oh, I remember that.
He did.
Man. How did you feel doing commentary? Like, was it hard? Because I can imagine that being easy for you.
No, it was hard.
Really?
It was hard because I was always nervous about getting the names of moves right.
Aye.
I was always nervous about calling the moves. You know what I mean? I always kind of felt like
Did you have to, like, how did you record it when you and Grange done it? Were you just talking into a wee computer mic or something?
Aye, well, Billy would just come up to mine and we just recorded it just in the house.
Did you ever go rewind that, man? I said something stupid there.
Okay, sometimes. But the shows were. But the problem was SWA shows were all 7 hours long, so you couldn't. There was a limit to how much you could go back.
They were, man, weren't they?
So John says, Keith says Bobby Heenan again. Watched the 92 Rumble again the other day, and his performance on commentary is just as good as Flair's that night. As a kid, he was a guy you loved to hate, which was exactly what you were meant to be doing. John says Paul Heyman. Oh my God, Heyman, yeah.
Absolutely. That year in WWF.
The year he was with Jim Ross.
Oh, aye, WrestleMania 17.
Fantastic, man.
Wow, that is a great year, man. I mean, nae harm to King, but that is... Heyman and JR together were superb.
And you got the sense that JR really hated him as well, didn't you? You got the sense that JR had no time for him.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful dynamic. I liked it.
Aye, because whether it was real or no, he kind of just saw Paul E as the fucking scammer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cowboy, it was brilliant.
Paul Heyman, he can do anything. His storytelling and play-by-play in each of the matches is second to none. Made you invested as a fan. Broncello says Jesse the Body Ventura. He won't make a lot of people's lists. Well, he was proven incorrect there. He was on my list. Childhood memories of hearing him and Gorilla on the majority of Silvervision tapes. Such a shame about the falling out of our money. And that Sega Mega Drive game, it never officially came out. Jason says, Bobby Heenan will always be my number one. A very close second is Jesse the Body Ventura with his constant cane and a Gorilla Monsoon. Both great heel commentators. Derek says Piper or Jericho for me. Neil says Bobby Heenan. If Taz keeps going the way he is, he'll be on the list one day. And Chris says, everybody will say Bobby Heenan, and rightly so, but for me, it'll always be Gorilla Monsoon. The voice of so much of my childhood. He was a perfect face to Heenan's heel, and he made Hogan and Warrior the megastars the way he put them on commentary. Okay. Grado, who is the best that's done colour on your matches?
I used to love Pope in TNA. I used to love his commentary on me. I think a lot of them had field days when I was in the ring because I was easy to fucking slag it. It's like when Wade Barrett done World of Sport, it was easy to say, this guy moves around like a baby elephant. And I remember Taz commentating on some of my matches before he left, and it was a matter of like, who is this guy? Why is he in a ring? Do you know what I mean? And they would all take the piss at me. However, I love Pope, and he called me Grado every week, and it used to piss off all the fans. They go, you're not pronouncing his name right, but I loved it. It's Grado! I loved it. Pope was so underrated at then, that. So underrated.
Well, Payday
Billy Kirkwood, if you're saying Billy Kirkwood,
mate.
the soundtrack of my life.
You can't say that now. You've blown it.
Woo! Payday is here, so why not treat yourself to some Wrestling Daft merch? And now we've got some brand new designs, including the mark is here with a quote of the Wrestling Daft belt. You've got Wrestling's Kid on, I need to get that. And the immortal quote from the immortal Hulk Hogan: "Good night, Hulkamaniacs and jabroni marks without a life that don't know it's a work. When you work a work and yourself into a shoot, Marks." That is now on t-shirt. And coming this weekend, hopefully, Spooky Club, after Grado's chat about the Stevenson Spooky Club. That is me. Are we actually going ahead with this? We're getting Spooky Club
We
t-shirts?
are, yeah. We're going to get
Fucking
it.
brilliant. Brilliant. Not only that, we've got hoodies, face masks, phone covers, trucker caps, bum bags and aprons. And obviously, if you heard there was somebody at the show with a Wrestling Daft t-shirt, I want to get a picture of that. I want to get a picture of somebody that was at the Thunderdome for the Rumble. shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft. You can also find other designs such as Alexa, who is Graham Stevely, I'm a Mark, Crud, Chips, Cheese and Doner Meat, and I'm a Wrestler too. God, do you remember that part? Remember that? Chips, Cheese and Doner Meat, remember that?
I remember that, man.
Remember that back in the day, man. So, but we need to get some Clobber t-shirts and fucking Roman Clays. So check out our range. I'll tell you what, check out our range. It's shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft. It's all the one word now. Or check out the links in Facebook or the Twitter page, and it's at Wrestling Daft.
When you're in that motor driving back with somebody you've just met at the show, you want to pop with boys. You want to tell a story that makes that guy remember you. Maybe he'll get you a booking somewhere down the line. What's the story you could tell that grizzled veteran to put a smile on his face after years of hard bumps? Well, me and Grado are jumping in the motor now, and we want to tell your story, so let's get this car started. Some show tonight.
Some show tonight, wasn't it?
Who are you working tonight?
Who was I working tonight?
Aye.
I was working. Fuck, I was a 6-man.
Who was that? Who were there?
Billy Grange, Micken, Gangrel, and it was against me, Crater, and he's cancelled.
I was just working a wee. They were doing a brand panties match thing, and I was to come in and break it up. No.
Easy payday, mate. No bumps, was there? Was there any bumps?
No bumps at all. Just had
a
wee bit of chocolate sauce in my scants. That's all. Really?
I've no bumped in fucking 30 odd bookings, mate.
The guys like us don't need to bump, mate.
Yeah, man.
You fucking bum, you don't bump.
Yeah,
Here, I'll tell you a wee story, by the way, talking about bumps.
Mate.
See, when I was about... I'm laughing, hanging about this fucking wrestler telling that story. See, when I was in primary 7, mate. Hold on, I'll just tell you turn here in this drive-thru. When I was about primary 7, I was heavy. I was heavy into wrestling. No. Like, so much so, mate. See, when I get into fights, I'd try and bust out moves and people, know what I mean? And because I was a giant.
Because I was a what? What were you?
A giant. I was a giant. It would usually work. You know what I mean? Because at that age, I was probably about 6 foot tall. Don't know what's fucking happened since, right? But at that age, I was 6 foot, size 11 in my shoe. Little did I know I'd only grow 3 inches tall on one size up my shoe since then, but that's beside the point. Now I remember putting a cunt in a pedigree. Doing that once, right? Playground. But in 2 years, me and one of my best pals used to fight all the time, and I used to get it better him constantly, man. Right? So much that I get cocky. I remember flying me, hell, have a wee fat lighter fag here, man. Don't mind a smoke day. I remember I flying him against the primary school gym wall, right? Because he booted a Gaelic football in my face. Anyway, in first year now, we were at a petrol station, right? And a wee scuffle broke out between us. You know what schools are like. I mean, so a big crowd gathered and that got it better because I started training it up fucking WrestleMania, you know what I mean? So, at one point he kicked me in the leg and then right hooked me across the jaw, right? And that was the first time, mate, I'd ever been properly punched in the face. And I lost my footing. You know that? Embarrassing. That wasn't the worst part, mate. After that, to try and gain my dignity, I thought it was a good idea to throw my bag at him. So he would catch it and I would run into a brogue kick on him. But when I went to do it, he didn't catch my bag, and when I ran to do a broad kick, he moved, and I went flying in a newspaper storm. This wee smart cunt in the crowd shouted, "He thinks it's a fucking Matrix." That's the end of my story, mate. That's it.
That's what it's all about. That was the best. That's exactly what I want to hear, man.
I get a quarter pounder, please. Quarter pounder with cheese. What you want, man? What you want?
I'll take a plain double.
And that story was for the one and only Billy Gaddy. Thank you very much.
Oh, was that actually? Fucking brilliant. Oh my god, that's popped me so much.
If you have a Wrestling Daft Road story, it doesn't have to be anything to do with wrestling, just a funny story about your life, it'll pop us. Drop us a DM on Twitter at Wrestling Daft or on the Facebook page. He must be 6'3", Billy Gaddy.
Say that, we only just seen when he's sitting in his chair.
He should be. Billy Gaddy needs to get into the wrestling game. At that height, 6'3" in Scotland, fucking tallest guy in wrestling. That's it for Wrestling Daft. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple or get us wherever you get your podcasts. Mind for more content and for the video version of this show, get on board. Patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. We really would appreciate your support. Yep. And why not check out our merch at shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft. We need a listener of the week. Who is a listener of the week?
I think Billy Gaddy.
Let's get to Billy Gaddy again. Billy Gaddy.
Going to get favoritism or what we say, but.
What is that?
I think he's two-time champion.
Two-time.
Well, Broncello's been a couple of times, eh?
Two-time. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Grado, thanks so much. A pleasure. John, a pleasure. Up the road now.
I shall sell up by road. 11.
I shall sell.
11.
Audio Frontier.